let's look for a way to look at the younger people, because as we can see, the older generation of Nigerians have failed the people. And by extension, the Nigerian government have failed the people. Because I'm very careful of what I'm saying here. It is not just few people in Aso Rock. The people also are part of the game. Because if the Nigerian people, I'm not talking of the government, those that are not in the government, if they were studying their ground, those in Aso Rock will be afraid. But if it is a game where we are all playing in, I give you 1 naira so you can talk for me, we are both in the game together. Okay, now let's look at the younger people who sort of are smarter. Can they look for a way? Can they play this game so that they can win? And by extension, we can all win. What chances do they have, the younger people, tapping into technology?
Well, it's very important that you mentioned that. Unlike the last generation, and I will tell you I belong to the last generation, because when we were growing up in the 70s and 80s, we lived very well. And the governments of those periods still had some kind of direction, so to speak. But because we lived very well, we could strike out on our own, do our things, go our way. But this generation, especially those that came after the structural adjustment program of 1986, had never had it easy in any respect. So what they have ended up doing is to constitute themselves into a kind of ethnic category. And when I say ethnic, if we say we have 250 ethnic groups in Nigeria, the younger generation has become the 251st ethnic group. They are creating a new group amongst themselves. You might not be Yoruba, but they will use Yoruba to sing, you will enjoy it. Yorubas will use Igbo language to sing and you will enjoy it. So they have constituted themselves into a category of people that is beginning to see not only the generation above them as anachronism. They have even seen the government as being anachronistic. So in the next, they are going to ignore the state. They are going to ignore the elderly ones, strike out on their own and begin new processes of recreating not only this country, but also recreating human relations. And it's beginning to start. You know, it's my generation and above that still sees you as Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa. For them, they don't think along that line, which is a healthy thing developing in this country. It is not clear to so many people yet, but for those of us who study society, for those of us who are students of society, we have seen it. That there is a new reality, a new orientation. They don't care. You are Yoruba, you are Hausa, you are Igbo, they don't care. They bond so well together. They intermarry, they do businesses together. They are on their own, they are moving on. And so by the time that generation moves up, we only hope that there won't be a regression into activism, Stone Age sensibilities like we exhibit now, that if they continue that way.
All right. That is a that is a model I really like a lot. No, that is hope. But how can we encourage more of that in the country so that we can move faster in that direction? Because like I said again, that is our hope, that the younger generation can reform Nigeria, they can build a better Nigeria for themselves. After all, we are talking of their future, so that we can have a better Nigeria in the years to come. How can we encourage that more? So that this shameful generation that have shamed the country, they can slowly die out. The younger ones that are proud of themselves, that are ready to build the country, can slowly replace them. How can we encourage that even more?
Well, I think the best thing is not to bring in your encouragement from above. Let them continue that subaltern approach, building from below. Let them continue with that. Because by the time you begin to bring in your suggestion from above and you begin to dilute what they are thinking, what they are doing, you are slowing down the process. Rather, it's they who will encourage us rather than we encouraging them. It's too late in the day to continue to talk down on these youths. They are the ones who will start to talk, who will be starting to talk up to us now to say, no, Daddy, that's not the way to think about it. What we hear today is the jackpot syndrome, everybody running away. It's just a few percentage of the young people running away. And I can tell you, for everyone that runs out of the country, there are 8. Well, there is another one waiting to go, but there are 8 working assiduously to make life better for themselves here, making sure that the narrative here changes. And it's really very encouraging. I look at them, I understand what they are doing, and I am deeply encouraged. I'm deeply encouraged. So what we need to do is not to encourage them. What we need to do is to dialogue with them to try to understand what they are doing and how they are doing.
To conclude the conversation, looking at how Nigeria can tap more into the digital economy and benefit more from it, because we really do have enough potential as a country, Nigeria. If Nigerian economy were to take off, it would be a surprise to the world, because it's so powerful in every respect of it. The consumption is there, the people are there, the resources are there. Anyway, how would you conclude the conversation? What would be your final thought here in terms of how Nigeria can really become a key player in the digital economy?
Well, I think the first thing we need to do now is to change the curriculum in our higher educational institutions. Let's change the curriculum and begin to also meet the younger generation halfway. Some of them are self-taught, self-tutored on the digital space, but since we are still in control of the educational institutions, we should also try as much as possible to modernize e-coaching, e-learning, which will eventually lead to e-commerce, e-money, e-everything. So let's look at the curriculum all over again. Even in history, we are also going along that route, teaching history in such a way as to hold on to the past, but also take them in the direction of how to begin to understand the present and the future, and so that we don't slip back into Stone Age sensibility.
I appreciate the conversation. I really do. Thank you. How can people connect with you? Please, this is very important. Please go ahead and do that.
Well, I am on LinkedIn. I am on Facebook, and I also have an email, and I check my email every day. I have not become that too old to check my email. I have a Gmail. The university one is there, but the Gmail is more accessible at olutayo27@gmail.com. That's fine. And of course, my mobile number, +234 802 3151 255. I'm here, working silently for the country.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, sir. I really do.